I'm going to give you a quick demonstration on some different drawing media that artists use. First one is oil pastels, and they're very similar to crayons, but they have very intense colors, so they're great to use. And you can see here how similar to crayons they are. And look at that beautiful blue. It's really, really vibrant and intense. The next one that we're going to look at is Conte pastels. Conte is a clay-based product that was invented during the French Revolution, and this pastel has got this clay-based product in it. And you can see that you can create some lovely lines with it, and if I smudge it with my finger or put it on its side, I get some really nice shading. So Conte pastels gives a really intense color, but also some soft shading areas. Moving on to graphite sticks. Graphite is actually what's in your pencils, so it's a fallacy that your pencils have lead. Lead's not been used for many, many, many years. Graphite is a stone, a soft stone, that we can draw with. It doesn't smudge very nicely, but with these sticks I can put it on its side, and as you see here, as I rub it into the paper, I get this lovely shading area. There you go. So again, these are your pencils, but just in a stick form. And next we're going to have willow charcoal. Now, willow charcoal is a vine that's been purposely made into a charcoal through being burned, and it is a product that a lot of artists use for their underdrawings for paintings. So I scribble it on here. You'll see as I rub it in, it actually rubs away quite well, and in fact if I rubbed long enough I'd probably rub it right off the paper. So it gives some really nice shading. It's not terribly dark, it's a bit of a grey, but it's a lovely drawing medium to use. Just changing over paper. The paper I'm using right now is actually called newsprint, which is newspaper without any printing on it, and it's a cheap paper that you can buy at art stores like Curry's. Pressed charcoal, unlike willow charcoal, is much blacker. You can see how messy it is on my hands. It gives a really nice black. So here again I can make my lines, my cross hatching, but when I smudge it in you can see how intense that black really is, and on its side I can create a lovely tonal value scale from darks to lights. This pressed charcoal is not for people that don't like their hands to get dirty. Water-soluble crayons are something I've just recently purchased from Curry's, which is a artist supply store. And what's nice about these is they're very similar to the crayons that we all grew up with, but instead of being bound with a water-resistant wax, they actually are soluble with water. So I'm going to just quickly draw a tree here. You'll notice the color is not necessarily as intense as the oil pastels, but what's pretty neat about it is that when I grab my yogurt container, always save your yogurt containers when you're an artist, and a paintbrush, you'll see how I'm able to actually blend the crayon into the paper, which is something you cannot do with traditional wax crayons. You get a very pastel look. You'll notice that the green that's blending is not very dark, but it's a very nice soft look. So maybe there's a nice gift you might want to buy for a younger cousin or something to play with. Finishing up, we're going to look at ink and crocol pen. The crocol pen actually derives from the good old days, like Jane Austen times, when they used to take feathers from crows and sharpen them and dip them into ink. I'm using a 20th century ink here. It's an acrylic based ink, and I'm going to show you how I can draw with this. Now, out of all the drawing medium that I've showed you, I would say this one really verges between the drawing and the painting side. If I had a paintbrush dipping in, I would say I was painting. And you can hear the scratchy sounds as this metal nib goes onto the paper. I'm very much limited in what I can do, so I cannot put huge big broad areas of color. I've got to very slowly and meticulously crosshatch or stipple. Stippling is the dots, but here I'm crosshatching and I'm going over and over again, and you'll see that the area is getting darker and darker the more I overlap my lines of green ink. And so the area that I'm circling here has the darkest value, and I'll let you have a look at that. So we're going to be doing a quiz now in the next page, in which you can try and see if you can determine what the drawing media was for some artworks. I hope you enjoyed this demo.